925. News Talk 820. WBAP 214-787-1820. The plight of captured American Beau Bird doll. It's what can you say? And what can you do? There is a powerlessness to this, and I'm feeling it just as his fellow American citizen. I cannot imagine what his family in Idaho is going through. In Dallas, Ken, Mark Davis from WBAP. I guess the two most plausible things are just coming to a horrible end, which I hope is not the case. And what this gentleman invoked, and what I mentioned last half hour, the Taliban earning some points here, earning some PR.
It's starting to rain. Well, I didn't expect rain today. Usually don't get rain a whole lot in July. You know, for all the environmentalists going, oh, this is going to be, oh, it's global warming, we're all going to die. We've had a cool summer. I mean, it's July, and we're 90 degrees. And that's unusual here in Dallas, Texas. Usually we're in the hundreds in July and August. June, July, August, it's usually $100 days, you know what I mean? But we've been relatively cool, relatively wet, especially for the summertime. I don't know. We'll see. Oh, they'll probably claim that this is global warming anyway. Those jackasses would claim the weather was perfect, that it was global warming. Because it's not about the weather, it's about power. And they want governmental control over cars and planes and trains and air conditioners and whatever else they can get their grubby mitts on. You know what a friend of mine said environmentalists are? Environmentalists are watermelons. They're watermelons. They're green on the outside, but they're red to the core. And that's what they are. Just a bunch of socialist
It's a critical care position.
I take care of patients who are in the intensive care unit on mechanical ventilators after surgery. Sick patients.
I see. Okay, thank you.
And they come up with heart failure, pulmonary failure. Anyway, you know, I work in a city hospital. Wide range of insurances, to no insurance to the best. And everybody gets what they need. They need a pacemaker, they get it. They need a consult for any physician, dialysis, they get it. There's no questions asked, and no consultant has ever refused a consult. The day that...
May I stop you there for a second?
Sure.
You just don't lose your train of thought.
Okay.
But you've reminded me, we never do hear these horror stories in this country of people who need the things you just described being denied them. We never do hear that. We hear it from Canada, we hear it from Great Britain, but you're right.
It doesn't happen.
Everybody listening is wondering, well, you just made it sound whether they can pay for it or not. They get it.
They get it. They pay for it. It's after the fact. They get what they need. I've had uninsured patients who got defibrillators at $25,000 a pop, but nobody batted an eye. They needed it. They got it. There were no questions asked. The day a government bureaucrat tells me that I can't put a life-saving pacemaker in a 95-year-old lady who is otherwise vital is the day that I retire.
Good. I did call my senator. I didn't call Schumer. I called the
Gillibrand? Yeah.
And, I talked to one of her assistants, and he was... I waited a long time to get on the phone. Their phone lines are busy, and...
So, but they actually talked to you? What'd they say?
Well, I just told them that I was disgusted with the cost of this thing. I asked her if the senator had read it, and it was a long silence, long pause, and
what was the answer?
Didn't think so.
She didn't think so.
My buddy John Goodman. He's he's president of the National Center for Policy Analysis. He's a very thoughtful and yet simple piece that we're going to link to. He said, what exactly is health reform all about? Readers will be forgiven if they can't come up with a quick answer to that question. No one else can either. But during the presidential election campaign, Obama mentioned universal coverage a lot. With that in mind, consider the following. Point. Uninsurance is a lot like unemployment. It happens to many people for short periods of time, but it afflicts very few people for long periods of time. Point. In fact, of all the people who are uninsured today, less than half will be uninsured a year from now.